Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kate Mobster and today I want to talk to you about how to stop fighting your emotions. And this is a tough one because it's way easier said than done. It's something that you can work towards, but it's by no means an easy hack or an easy thing to do. So what inspired me to do this is to talk about this is because, it's September, the days are getting shorter, for me the thoughts are getting darker. During these times it's always more difficult, I think, to accept your thoughts and to feel good. And I have a few things that I work on. I have a few things that I work with to be more self-compassionate. To be more kind to myself and to to stop hiding my feelings. Even though that's really hard. It's really hard to do so. Don't get me wrong there, but it's definitely possible. And sometimes it works and it can feel good. So what I mean is, with stop fighting your emotions, is that we tend to have, at least I know I tend to want to understand why I'm feeling a certain way, right? When I feel sad, when I feel angry, when I feel anxious, I want to know where it's coming from. But I don't always know where it's coming from, and so I will just ignore my emotions in the search of, the answer for the feeling. But it's not always a very, clear idea. Sometimes it's not even relevant. Most of the time, for me, it's not even relevant at that moment. At that moment, it's relevant that I'm not feeling well. And that is exactly what I want to focus on. So, Pema Chodron is a writer and an American Buddhist nun. She's written all kinds of books. I have her book, Start Where You Are, A Guide to Compassionate Living. Compassionate being self-compassionate and also compassionate for the world around you. And in this case, we're a little bit more focused on the self-compassion, right? So what we want to do is we want to be kind to ourselves. We want to be understanding to ourselves, especially when we feel emotional. And when we don't, we tend to feel very stuck and very frustrated and very angry most of the time. So what we want to do is we want to try to understand ourselves a little bit better, but not at the moment that we feel things. We can do that afterwards, but we don't need to do that at the moment itself. Pema Chodron has this line that very much stuck to me, and she says, "Drop the story. When you feel emotional, drop the story. It is not relevant at the moment. It is relevant afterwards. It is relevant when you can feel more balanced, when you are more capable of understanding what happens." I don't know if you ever had that feeling of, where you were very emotional, and then the day after you were thinking about how you were emotional, and suddenly you understood why you were emotional, right? So that is the moment where you can think about that. But the moment that you are vulnerable, the moment that you are emotional, is not the moment to think about why you are feeling that way. At that moment, you want to treat yourself like you would treat a friend. You wouldn't ask your friend all these questions about where does your sadness come from? Where does your anxiety come from? Where does your anger come from? We need to know. Did your boyfriend have something to do with it? Did your work have something to do with it? Did your sister have something? I mean, you can feel very stuck when someone asks you all those questions. You're like, I don't want to talk about this. I feel sad. I feel anxious. I feel angry. I don't want to talk about why this happens, right? And that is when someone else asks you that. But the same goes for when you ask yourself those questions, because you are your own friend in the end. Like your voice, your own thoughts are those voice as well. So that's where we need to drop it. That's where we need to make sure that we don't ask ourselves those questions, but that we give ourselves a warm, cup of coffee, maybe a blanket, maybe something else that you really enjoy, that really comforts you, something that helps you be okay with these feelings, be okay with these emotions. So drop that storyline, drop the thoughts that belong to why it is happening, whatever is happening to you at that point. It's not relevant, not at that point. It might be relevant afterwards, but it's definitely not relevant at that point. At that point, you need to be your friend. At that point, you need to be comforting yourself. So that's something I wanted to share with you, because I know it really helps me to really be more kind to myself and to be really more compassionate to myself, especially to treat myself like I would treat a friend, and it's not asking all those questions of why things happen. It's more the listening part and the comforting part. Thank you so much for watching, at least. I really appreciate that. I will hopefully come back later on with a new video, but for now, thank you so much. Leave a like if you like the video, subscribe if you want to see more of this in the future, and yeah, see you later. Bye.